questions can show that Alfred was getting more and more, give me one word, more and more afraid or I think you are talking here. Nervous. Okay. He was getting more and more nervous and afraid. May I ask you about this word, familiar terror? What does it mean by the familiar terror growing inside him? Why familiar? Helen, do you have any idea about that? I'm sorry, oh yeah, he stole things, right? Was it the first time he did this? No, not the first time. Maybe this happened before, for many times. That was why this kind of feeling, terror, was familiar, because you met it before, right? Thank you very much. So you see, Mr. Carr was very soft, was very quiet, but Alfred, inside Alfred, the terror was growing little by little, and he was getting more and more frightened, right? Why? No, his boss was not angry with him at all. Why? Director, help. Yeah? It's very important for you to know that, right? Because you are going to plan the play. Why? It's bad to do things. So, what do you think Alfred should be feeling about? Feeling like? Yes, of course, okay. So you can still feel that even though Mr. Carr was not angry, he was not yelling, but he was still very, very strong inside him. Do you think so? So peacefulness has its own power. Like what? Like the sea. It looks very peaceful, but peaceful has its power. If you know the power of peacefulness, you will understand why Alfred was getting more and more frightened, and the terror was growing, right? Thank you very much. In the first scene, we talked about Alfred and Mr. Carr. My question is, where was Mrs. Higgins? Where was she? Mrs. Higgins, where are you? You were at home. When you received the call from Mr. Carr, how did you feel? How did you feel? Who was Mrs. Higgins here? Who? Yes? How did you feel when you got the call from Mr. Carr? May I have your name, please? Yes, Anna? Yes? How did you feel?
Feel worried.
You felt worried, right? Why did you feel worried?
Because my son,
What happened to your son?
because my son had trouble.
Yes, your son had some trouble. Your son was in trouble. Your son was waiting for you to save him, right? So, but in this, in the first page, if you notice that, the first page is the first scene, right? Did the author write about Mrs. King in that scene? In the first page? We couldn't see her, right? Now, I would like to ask all the directors here, if we are going to put on the play, would you like to add one scene about Mrs. Higgins at home after scene 1? Would you? Directors. I would like the directors to think about this question. Now, you're going to plan the play, right? Eva, you are the director, right? If you are going to put on the play, are you going to add one more scene, that means one more part, after page 1, to describe, to show us how worried Mrs. Higgins was at home, will you? You can tell us yes or no. Yes, you will. Would you like to try to answer why? Or the other people can have different opinions. I'd like to know the directors. The director, Annie, would you like to add one more scene or not?
Yes, I will.
Yes, you will. Tell us why.
Because if I know my son is in trouble, I will be very worried about him.
Yeah, of course.
And I will put a part in the role. I want that audience know the mother's is role.
Oh, you would like the audience to know more about how the mother felt at that moment, right? Thank you very much. Very good reason, okay? Anybody who would like, who doesn't want to add one scene? I mean, any director who is not planning to add one more scene? Or are you telling me that everybody agrees with Annie? Any directors? Any director here? Who's a director here? I'm sorry? Yes. Would you like to add one more scene? Yes. Any reasons or different reasons?
I want that readers know what is going on.
Ah, you would like the readers to know about that, to know how the mother felt, right? You would like the audience to know that. So as an author or as a director, you would like your audience to know better what was happening on the other side of the phone. That's a good choice. If you don't want to do that, you can also have very good reasons too. For example, if you don't add one more scene, the readers or the audience will have more space to imagine things by themselves. Do you think so? Yes? That can also be an option, right? So it's up to you. If you want to add one more scene, fine, good reasons, okay? If you don't want to, then your readers and audience will have more space for imagination from themselves. Okay, right, this is about the first scene. Now we're going to move to the second one. In the second scene, who were there at first? Alfred and Mr. Carr, right? Then who arrived? Who? Mr. Higgins. Okay, Mr. Higgins. When Mrs. Higgins arrived at the drugstore, how did Sam and Mr. Carr feel? Oh, sorry, Alfred, sorry. How did Alfred and Mr. Carr feel? Alfred, how did you feel? How did you feel?
I feel embarrassed.
Oh, you felt embarrassed. You are Alfred, and you felt embarrassed. What about Mr. Carr? Mr. Carr, how did you feel?
I feel
You felt peaceful. What did the author say about their feelings? Who has a word for embarrassed? Who was embarrassed? Mr. Carr was embarrassed, right? And how did Alfred feel? How did Alfred feel? How? How did he feel? Yes, would you please?
everything.
Yeah. You felt.
I feel very peaceful because my mom finally came.
Oh, your mom finally came, so you felt happy. Yes, because you had the hope, right? Right. You felt happy because someone was here to save you from the trouble, right? And also, if you read more carefully, you will find out that Mr. Carr, both Mr. Carr and Alfred, felt something in common. They were both surprised, right? What made them quite surprised? What brought them the surprise? What did Alfred expect or imagine that his mother would do? If you have something in the worksheet, I would like you to share with us. Alfred, who is Alfred? Yes. What did you feel like? What did you imagine before your mom appeared? What was the feeling? That is what you expect, right? Yes, you can share with the whole class. Yes? Yes. Yeah. Mm. Good. How did you expect? What did you imagine that your mom would do? Thank you very much. It's okay. It's okay, Amy. Okay. Anybody who can help here? Alfred? Alfred? Yes? What did you expect your mom would do when she arrived? Yeah, she would come rushing in. What else?
And eyes burning with anger.
Good. Eyes burning with anger. Yes? This is what you expected, right? Good. So we have these expectations. Do you find this? Crying, we can read it together. Crying and would push him away, make him feel so small. This is what Alfred expected before his mom arrived, right?